How's it going everyone, it's Vivi and welcome back to another Kingdom Hearts video. Kingdom Hearts Union Cross received a story update, and again we're looking at the Japanese version, translated thanks to Gold Panner over on KH Insider. This one is more sort of confirming the suspicion we had before. When Nomura shared a screenshot of Ava and Brain a short while ago, well, back when I saw this, I told myself, okay, Brain is the one circled in red, the one Master of Masters instructed Ava to give the book to, the Book of Prophecies. This scene is exactly it. Ava comes up to Brain, tells him, "You're one of the new Union leaders, by the way." What's interesting about this one, apart from the confirmation of the book being given to Brain, these two discuss the fate of the world. Ava starts with, imagine the world being set in stone. Brain says, nah, that's awful, that's boring. The fact Ava asks this question to Brain tells us that Ava does have the intent of wanting to change the fate of the world. There's a bit of curiosity in there. She wants someone to agree with her, albeit not knowing exactly how it'll all turn out. She later brings out, but what if it's not about knowing what's planned, but rather knowing what will happen, what's written in the book? In this case, for example, the ill-fated Keyblade War. That's not planned per se, more along the lines of something that will happen according to the Master of Masters, despite what you do, regardless of how it gets planned. Ava mentions even if something is written in the book doesn't mean you can't change that. Although the war happens, ultimately, you can change the way it happens. When something changes, it gets rewritten in the book apparently. Cue Brain wanting to be the virus to rewrite the program. Remember, the Union leaders are currently stuck in a data world. They don't know if this was intentional or this happened randomly. Their biggest fear here, this scene, is not knowing what these changes could do for the future. Heck, the Keyblade War in Kingdom Hearts 3. Light prevailed in another world line that was not planned. By world line, by the way, I mean Sora. Him saving everyone and rewinding time. He created another timeline, so that should technically count as a different world line, no? Anywho, she hands over the Book of Prophecies, and she puts the sheet of paper with the names of the Union leaders written on it inside the book. She believes a time would come where Brain would be curious enough to look at it. With that comes the rise of Ava being Strelitzia's killer. I'm not saying I believe that theory, but I wanted to bring it up, because it's probably gonna get mentioned in the comments. If Brain saw the names on the paper and realized, wait a minute, my name's not on here, that will give rise to suspicion, Ava killing Strelitzia, and wanting Brain to take her place. The mere fact Ava didn't want Brain to look at the sheet of paper immediately will make people believe that she doesn't want Brain to find out that his name is not written on it. But why would Ava kill Strelitzia? Why not just not give her a rule book to begin with? Strelitzia had no intent on joining the Dandelions until Ava entitled her as a Union leader. I just feel it's not part of Ava's nature killing someone. But heck, this is Tetsuya Nomura we're talking about at the end of the day. Another scenario. Brain doesn't see the name Ven written on it. He still hasn't looked at the sheet of paper, we believe. So with Ven not being written on the sheet of paper, could be a possibility that Ven is the actual killer. Ven does have hidden darkness in him, remember, like a multiple personality disorder. Speaking of Strelitzia, Brain and Lauriam are still trying to figure out her whereabouts, wondering why she would even join the Dandelions so abruptly. What caused her to make such a shift in her decision? They got no clue she was chosen to be part of their team. That could explain why she suddenly decided to join the Dandelions. By the way, this whole 4 years ago thing, this scene right here, I believe, is a couple of days before the Keyblade War in the real world. As for 4 years later, that'd be the amount of time the Dandelions and the new Union leaders spent time in the Data Realm. That's how I see it. If this were to happen 4 years prior to the Keyblade War, that would mean the foretellers wouldn't have access to the book for 4 years, which I can't wrap my head around. So if you believe this is 4 years prior to the war, explain why in the comment section below, alright? As for other things, Maleficent shows up in Daybreak Town. I believe she's in Data at Daybreak Town. If you've been keeping up to date with Union Cross, the Master of Masters made sure Maleficent wouldn't end up in the real world as to not affect the future, or gain too much knowledge from the past and bring it to the future. Ava, remember, did say, whatever's written in the book doesn't mean it can't be rewritten. If Maleficent were to gain knowledge from the past, that would affect the Book of Prophecies, something a Master of Masters, I believe, didn't want to happen. So in other news, Xbox players will finally get their hands on KH 1.5 and 2.5, and 2.8 in 2020. This was announced during Insider Xbox event in London. No clue if this will be bundled similarly to the story so far on PS4, which was basically 2 discs, one for 1.5 plus 2.5 and the other 2.8. With the announcement of all that, a public demo is now available for Xbox and PS4. Kingdom Hearts executive producer Ishiro Hazama, during the Xbox Insider event, announced it, that a free demo is now available to the public, something we never imagined would ever happen. I remember the times where people used to say, well, Square Enix will never release a demo to the public. And here we are now. Why would they release it now, after Kingdom Hearts 3 released? Almost a year ago. Marketing tactic? What else would it be? And why did Square Enix decide to release 1.5, 2.5, and 2.8 on Xbox in 2020? Why not do it when Kingdom Hearts 3 launched on Xbox? Well, if I recall correctly, Nomura said, well, we just have to talk to Microsoft. Nothing else was explained regarding that subject. Before I forget, when you download this demo and play it throughout, data gets transferred to a full Kingdom Hearts 3 game. That's pretty cool. Patch 1.06 got released for KH3. There's a new menu category titled Special, where you can find Theater Mode, Memory Archive, and Tutorials. I believe this is where we'll find the content for Remind, which is yet to receive an actual release date. Alright folks, so with that being said, do your stuff as usual, comments or anything like that, leave everything in the comment section below. And as always, I've been Vivi, and thank you so much for watching.